We had a little issue with one of our kids, ended up in the ER.
It's 10:30 at night and I hear a cough, hunched over, struggling to breathe. The cough was like, it was difficult to come in. And so
Jinger Duggar Vuolo, now 30, and her husband Jeremy, 37, carved out a different life than what we saw on TLC. Once part of that conservative Baptist clan in Arkansas, they ventured far, living in Texas, then moving to a suburb of Los Angeles. They didn't just move geographically, they drifted philosophically too, embracing a more modern perspective. They share insights on the Jinger and Jeremy podcast, and Jinger's even become a best-selling author, writing about faith and personal freedom. They already have 2 daughters, Felicity and Evangeline, and recently announced a 3rd baby on the way, due in March 2025. Things seemed stable, if busy, with the Vuolos charting their own path. But then came a night in Texas, a supposed normal trip, when Evangeline, 4, who had shown 0 signs of sickness, suddenly couldn't breathe well. We're talking late at night. Jeremy hears a cough, rushes to her side, finds her hunched and struggling for air. Imagine that moment of heart-stopping fear. A perfectly fine day gives way to crisis in an instant. Jinger and Jeremy acted fast. Jeremy scooped Evangeline up and raced to the ER, while Ginger's mind probably spun through every possible cause. Aspiration of food? Sudden croup? Asthma? She mentioned Jeremy had asthma as a child. Did this mean their daughter might also face it? They arrive at the emergency room, uncertain what they're dealing with. Doctors start examining Evangeline. One theory, maybe she inhaled something. Another, croup, known for its frightening cough. Or could it be something else entirely? Tests run, guesses swirl. Meanwhile, Evangeline's breathing is labored, and you can bet Jinger and Jeremy's hearts pounded. The doctors administered a steroid. Just like that, the crisis eased. She started breathing normally again. Relief washed over them, but left a puzzle unsolved. What triggered this sudden scare? Jinger mentioned her surprise that Evangeline hadn't shown any preceding symptoms. No sniffles, no fever, no warnings. It came out of nowhere. That's what makes it so rattling. Children often give subtle signals before getting really sick, but here, nothing. The Vuolos hope to find answers, to figure out if this could be asthma or allergies, or if it was a bizarre one-time event. The idea that it could happen again without warning must weigh heavily on their minds. This scare also arrives 2 months after Jinger and Jeremy shared their pregnancy news. They're excited about baby number 3. Jeremy was speechless when Jinger surprised him with a positive test on Felicity's birthday. They expected it, sure, but life has a way of layering shocks. First, the pregnancy revelation, now a medical emergency with their daughter, and who knows what else lies ahead. Parenting, always challenging, feels even more intense when the world once watched you grow up on TV. We saw Jinger as a teenager navigating her family's strict landscape. Now we see her as an adult confronting everyday terrors that fame does nothing to prevent. The cameras aren't rolling on a TLC set anymore, but real life never stops rolling. These are not scripted moments, just raw, human experiences. Jeremy mentioned looking out for signs like turning blue, recalling that asthma can escalate quickly. He knows the terror of restricted airways from personal history. This makes their relief that Evangeline stabilized all the more poignant. It's a reminder that even with all the upheavals, moving, questioning old beliefs, raising a family away from the safety net of their childhood home, they must handle crises that reduce everything else to background noise. In that hospital room, the controversies of the Duggar name, the distance from Arkansas, the cultural shifts, none of that matters. It's just parents and their struggling child. As Jinger and Jeremy move forward, they'll likely seek more tests to rule out recurring issues. They might keep an inhaler or medication handy, or consult specialists. Meanwhile, Felicity, their older daughter, might sense the tension, might ask questions. Preparing for a 3rd child amidst this uncertainty is a delicate balancing act. But given their track record, adapting to new cities, adjusting beliefs, exploring new freedoms, maybe they'll handle it with the same resilience. What strikes me most is Jinger's candor. She didn't just gloss over this scare or keep it private. She shared it on their podcast, inviting listeners into the vulnerability of that night. It's moments like these that erode the old illusions of perfect families we once saw on reality TV. The Vuolos are living proof that real life doesn't fit neatly into story arcs. One episode you're announcing a pregnancy, the next you're rushing a child to the ER. It's messy, unexpected, and deeply human. As for answers, we might never get full clarity. The Vuolos might discover it was just a freak event, or they may identify a treatable condition. Either way, this night will stay with them, another notch in the ever-changing narrative of their family life. From a famed TLC kid to a mother wrangling 2 daughters and preparing for a third, Ginger's journey is one of transformation. Jeremy, once an athlete, now a concerned dad racing through dark streets to the ER, also evolves under the weight of responsibility. In a world where we're used to insta-perfect family photos and scripted interviews, stories like this cut through the gloss. You can't fake a medical scare. You can't hide the fear in a parent's eyes. By sharing it, Jinger and Jeremy bridge the gap between celebrity and audience, reminding us that no matter your background, when your child can't breathe, you panic, you act, you pray it ends well. As we wrap up, let's keep the conversation going. What stands out to you about this story? Are you relieved Evangeline is okay? Any words of encouragement for the Vuolos? Drop them below. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and share if you found this insightful. Thanks for staying with me through this intense story. I hope it gave you a fuller understanding of what's going on behind those old reality TV curtains. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and remember that we're all human, famous or not, just trying to navigate the unpredictability of life. Bye for now.